Welcome to episode number 38. I'm CJ Wellerman. Thank you for joining us. In this week's episode, we look at the growing influence of the Hindutva lobby in the United Kingdom. But first, a quick reminder to click on the subscribe button below so you don't miss out any future episodes. Now let's get into it. Many of you will recall that in episode 29 we exposed the Hindutva lobby's growing reach in the United States, particularly in the way it's influencing US foreign policy in favour of the Hindu nationalist agenda, which in turn is having a catastrophic effect on Muslims in India and Kashmir, along with other religious minorities, including Christians and Sikhs. In the United Kingdom, however, Hindutva groups are operating with the same aims, but notably with different strategies. In short, they are mimicking the way the Israel lobby has weaponized charges of anti-Semitism against its critics by smearing opponents of the Modi government as purveyors of Hindu phobia. And last week they took this newly invented form of bigotry all the way to the United Nations. Play the clip.
The issue of Hindu phobia was raised at the UN forum. Permanent representative of India to UN, Mr. Tirumurthy, in fact, raised this issue and spoke about the new phobias, hatred or bias against other major religions, non-Abrahamic religions of the world.
But here's the thing. Hindu phobia is a manufactured myth meant to silence critics of the Hindu nationalist movement. And unlike actual forms of racism and bigotry, Hindu phobia does not exist within a contemporary or historical structure that perpetuates hatred towards Hindus. Whereas Jews and Muslims have been stigmatized within the context of European religious crusades and the war on terror. Now, no doubt Indian Hindu migrants in the UK or US experience bigotry, but it's almost always because they're brown-skinned immigrants, not because they're followers of the Hindu religion. I mean, come on. The heads of the world's biggest tech companies are Hindu, and the Vice President of the United States is the daughter of Indian Hindu migrants. And in the UK, both the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Home Secretary are Hindus. So let's talk about the Home Secretary Priti Patel for a moment, a woman who describes herself as a Modi supporter and who's been touted as a future British Prime Minister. Despite being forced to resign from a position as International Development Secretary in 2017 after it was revealed she had secret meetings with Israeli officials to funnel UK taxpayer dollars to the Israeli military under the guise of international aid. Roll it.
Priti Patel arrived at the back door of Downing Street, her government career hanging by a thread. The International Development Secretary was hauled back from an official trip to Africa to face her boss, Prime Minister Theresa May. Moments later, Patel resigned. She was forced to apologise on Monday after holding 12 secret meetings with Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, all while she was meant to be on a family holiday to Israel in August. It also emerged she discussed giving some of Britain's aid budget to the Israeli army to help wounded Syrians being treated in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights.
But today she's the Home Secretary, which gives her a free hand to advance Israel's agenda. Last year she did Israel's bidding by labelling Gaza's Hamas government a terrorist organisation, arguing the group practices religious extremism. Watch.
And today I have laid an order in the United Kingdom Parliament to amend Schedule 2 of the Terrorism Act 2000 to prescribe Hamas in its entirety, including its political wing.
You see, we know she's talking total bullcrap here because she's a huge advocate of religious extremism in not only supporting India's Hindu extremist government, but also an actual Hindu extremist group. As evident in a letter she sent in 2014 praising Hindu extremist group HSS for, quote, bringing the Hindu community together, even though HSS openly admits Hindutva and Hinduism are not the same thing. This is what she wrote. I commend the leaders of HSS UK for bringing the Hindu community together to promote the ideals and values that underpins our way of life, particularly in demonstrating good citizenship, charity and social responsibility. Wait, what? HSS is the sister organisation of RSS, which is a fascist paramilitary organisation inspired and modelled on the Nazi Party and responsible for the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. RSS leaders have vowed to cleanse India of Muslims the same way the Nazis tried to cleanse Europe of its Jewish population during the Holocaust. Play.
One of the main vehicles for Hindu nationalists was the RSS, or the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. The RSS rooted their ideology in a 1923 book. It advocates for Hindutva. It's the idea that the character and culture of India is exclusively Hindu, and that India should be a great Hindu nation. It sees Muslims and Christians who live in India as foreign invaders that should be secondary citizens, and borrows heavily from European fascists.
keep the purity of the nation and its culture, Germany shocked the world by her purging the country of Semitic races, the Jews. Germany has also shown it is impossible for different races and cultures to be assimilated into one unified whole, a good lesson for us in Hindustan to learn and profit.
This is the organisation Priti Patel praises, and she even singles out RSS in her letter by praising HSS for advancing and improving the reputation of RSS. I mean, now can you see why she so utterly terrifies 2.5 million British Muslims? And let's not forget that in 2019 she was named in a dossier of 10 Tory party councillors who made or shared Islamophobic material, with one of her tweets accusing a Pakistani activist of forcibly converting Hindu girls to Islam, saying, and I quote, "The world should know about this barbaric act by Islamists," end quote. Moreover, she tagged Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in her tweet. You see, HSS is just one of several Hindu nationalist groups that are working to advance the Modi government's interests and the Hindutva ideology by fueling hatred against Muslims, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Last year, HSS and other Hindu extremist groups organised a protest in London where they called for a boycott against Pakistani-owned businesses and for Pakistan to be labelled a terrorist state. Go.
आज हमको प्रण लेना होगा किसी भी पाकिस्तानी रेस्टोरेंट में जाना बंद करना होगा किसी भी पाकिस्तानी रेस्टोरेंट बंद करना होगा
2 years ago, thousands of Hindu nationalists showed up at a pro-Kashmir solidarity rally in London, causing mayhem and violence with the aim to silence pro-Kashmiri voices. Play. You see, these Hindutva groups are well organised and well financed. They include the Hindu Council UK, National Hindu Students Federation, National Council of Hindu Temples and Siwa International. Notably, Siwa International was stripped of its charity organisation status after an investigation revealed the group secretly funneled donations to the Hindutva groups that murdered 2,000 Muslims in Gujarat 20 years ago. Roll it.
Now, it has been praised by Prince Charles and publicly supported by many prominent British Asians. But an investigation by Channel 4 News reveals that amongst the beneficiaries of money raised by the aid organisation Siwa International are Hindu extremists behind a campaign of violence in India. More than 1,000 people, mostly Muslims, died in Gujarat this March. We show that money from unsuspecting donors in Britain ended up in the hands of the violent fundamentalists who incited the violence.
These groups are actively working with the Israel lobby to falsely smear Britain's Labour Party as both anti-Semitic and anti-Hindu, in order to handcuff progressive voices from speaking out against human rights violations in Palestine and Kashmir. All in all, there are literally dozens of Hindu nationalist groups operating in the shadows and behind an umbrella called the Hindu Forum of Britain, whose founding leaders were affiliated with RSS and VHP, which the CIA identified as a religious militant organisation, one responsible for terrorism and political assassinations. But none of this has stopped the Hindu Forum from playing a huge role in UK politics. For instance, when the Labour Party described the Modi regime's revocation of Kashmir's semi-autonomous status in 2019 as an anti-democratic human rights violation, the Hindu Forum threatened to canvass votes for the right-wing Tory party. Fearful of the Hindu Forum's political power, the new and current Labour Party leader repositioned his party's policy on Kashmir in favour of the Indian government. Roll a clip.
Seeking validation from the West, the need to decolonize our minds. Today, let me tell you the consequence of doing so. Keir Starmer, the leader of Britain's Labour Party, has changed his party's position on Kashmir. I want to repeat that. The Labour Party has repositioned itself on the Kashmir issue. It has finally accepted that Kashmir is a bilateral issue for India and Pakistan to resolve. It's a much-needed course correction. Better late than wrong, we say.
In other words, the foreign policy of the UK's so-called Progressive Party is being shaped and influenced by anti-democratic, Nazi-inspired Hindu fascists who are actively plotting the genocide of Muslims, Christians, Sikhs and other minorities. While card-carrying Hindu nationalist Priti Patel sits a stone's throw away from the country's highest office. Worrying times indeed, and we must continue to expose and counter these extremists. Anyway, that's a wrap for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to this channel and help spread the word with your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And we kindly ask you please support this endeavour by becoming a member of this show. at patreon.com/CJWellerman. We can't produce, sustain and grow the show without your help, and we offer exclusive benefits to those who do. But for now, good night, good day, good morning, wherever you are, and stay blessed.